Okay, we are live.
All right. Okay. Hello, Kwesi Owahini Champon here. We wanted to bring you this presentation so you can understand the car ownership aspect of Project Drive. A lot of people don't get what we're trying to do with Project Drive. Most people think it's just about drivers applying and getting a car, and then they get cars to work and then they pay off, and but Project Drive is a whole transportation project. It covers drivers getting a car to work with, making sales with, and then people who want to be car owners paying for these cars and then making decent profits of them without having to deal with all the pressures and the wahala that comes with doing this on your own. Now, if you're familiar with buying a car and giving it to a driver, you know that comes with a lot of wahala. It means you literally have to take a bank loan or pick up your savings and buy a car, get your own driver, and then the driver has to make sales to you. But in most cases, if the driver falls sick, if the driver the car breaks down, if anything happens for that matter, that affects your sales and it affects your business. And that has always been the dynamics with the traditional work and pay, as we all know it. If you're not familiar with work and pay, that is what it's all about. I can buy a car, get a driver, he works and pays for a duration, and then after that period, the driver owns the car, I've made my money and profits. That is work and pay. Project Drive is taking this traditional transportation business to the next level. Why are we doing this? Most people will be like, why are we even trying to rewrite the traditional work and pay history? See, the traditional work and pay puts a lot of stress on car owners and puts a lot of stress on drivers. And then when you consider the kind of cars on our roads, they are in bad conditions. You understand? Most drivers are driving rickety cars, and then the stress, look at all these fuel prices and all. When all these things happen, it affects the whole transportation industry. So we're trying to clean up the streets in Ghana at large. We're starting off with a few people who can understand the vision of what we're trying to do with Project Drive and get on board with us. So without wasting too much time, I'm going to go through this presentation so it can be clear. We're trying to automate the commercial transportation space. Now, Project Drive is a project developed by MA Club, or MAC. That is Millionaires Agendas Club. That's the name of our company. Now, at MAC, we have a crowdfunding platform where we develop business ideas and projects that are supposed to help improve living conditions in general. So at our core, if anybody has a business idea or project, they can come to us, we sit down with you, we sign an NDA agreement, your lawyers look at it, our lawyers look at it, and then we can develop your business idea and then put it out to the world. And then whatever money we're able to raise for your project or your business, we take a service fee and the rest goes to you. That's what we do at our core. But most people don't understand how that works. So we decided to develop something tailored to what Ghanaians understand. And then we came up with Project Drive. So Project Drive is a crowdfunding idea that is supposed to change or improve the traditional work and pay system as you and I know it. So we are located at Dansoman, and that is the link to our website, ma-club.com. Right. Now, this is the problem with the traditional work and pay. It's broken. I mean, look at the condition of cars we're showing on the screen, and this is the kind of cars you see on the Ghanaian roads. We call them taxis. And if you're fortunate to have traveled outside Ghana, if you've seen other cultures, travel to Dubai, travel to USA, and even Rwanda recently, go there and you realize that the kind of cars they are driving on their streets are far better than the ones that Ghanaians are driving. So one man said, if you want to be rich, discover problems and create solutions to them. So we're trying to share wealth amongst people who want to help Project Drive take up all these bad condition vehicles off the roads and then replace them with good ones, where we are all financing them with crowdfunding. I'll go into details as I go along. So the problem is we have bad cars on our roads. They are bad. You and I pick them all the time. Have you been in a position where you stop a taxi and then the taxi that stops right in front of you is in bad condition so much that you don't want to board the car, you ask him to leave. If you've been there, you can relate to what I'm talking about. Yeah. The wahala. Okay, so on the driver's side, the driver is overworking. The driver driving cars they don't like. Most drivers are given cars they don't really like, but that is what the car owner could afford. Frequent vehicle breakdown issues with no support from car owners. Yeah, a lot of drivers are in that space. And fear of losing the car is very common amongst regular car owners. You buy a car for a driver, if you're not okay with its performance, the driver is in constant fear of losing the car because at any moment the car owner can call for the car to be returned, and this is what drivers are facing. Now, on the car owner side, they are dealing with maintenance expenses that affect their sales. If the car owner wants to support the driver to maintain their car, the car owner is in constant pressure, wahala, of always maintaining their car. Let's face the fact, the car is an asset that can easily break down every now and then. We get it. But if you put in proper structures in place, transportation business is one of the booming in the world. If it wasn't, Uber wouldn't be in that space. Uber did something right. And I always like to use Uber as a point of reference so that we can wake people up to what we're trying to achieve with Project Drive. Uber is technically the biggest transport company in the world currently, but Uber does not own a car. Project Drive's aim is not to buy cars and which are owned by the company, but Project Drive is trying to be the middleman that is connecting car owners to good drivers. There are good ones out there, out of the lot. Project Drive is trying to be the middleman that is managing the driver and the vehicle assets. And you as a car owner, all you have to worry about is receiving your monthly sales. And the driver is also working comfortably with the car he likes for a period, which the car is now transferred to him as the owner, and the car owner also makes his money and profit out of the deal. That is long and short what Project Drive is all about. Now this is the model for the Project Drive. We have two models people can come in as car owners. And this is how we are actually financing the Project Drive cars. So eventually when you start seeing a lot of Project Drive cars on the road, you will know that they are owned not by the company, they are owned by people who came in as single owners or joint owners. I'll explain that in a bit. Now, these ownership deals are what we use to buy the cars, and we get good deals with some garage partners. And recently, we're also cooking up a deal with Solar Taxi, and we're going to get electric cars in the system very soon. We're doing all of this to improve the condition of cars on the road, get brand new cars, possibly in better condition for drivers. So this is how we buy the cars. Now these cars are automated by Project Drive. We're developing an application that is going to automate this whole process, where the driver will go through the app, make his sales, the car owner will go through the app and then receive his payment. And then it takes every human error out of the equation. We're doing all of this to make the project and the process effective. Okay, so Project Drive automates the system. All right, drivers work and pay, and then the car owners receive their money back plus 75% profit over a period of 30 months. What we do is we add your package. Let me go next and then I'll go into that. All right, so the idea is to switch out from these kind of cars. I mean, yeah, these are some of the drivers who come to our office every now and then they tell us their stories. And these are some of the cars they're driving, bad condition cars. I mean, look at this car. Look at this car right here. Look at this car. But these are the average in Ghana. You understand? And in my opinion, this is bad. It contributes to road accidents and a whole lot. All right. So the idea is to switch from those bad cars to these nice cars. Okay. Now, you're going to see taxis branded Project Drive. You're going to see private cars branded Project Drive. It means any of these cars can be boarded as a taxi. The model of Project Drive is not like Uber where you have to download an app before you can board a Project Drive car. They are working taxis. Some drivers prefer to spray their cars into taxis because they like that approach. Others also want to have the flexibility of putting on Uber and Bolt and all that. So we allow the drivers under the Project Drive scheme to drive these cars under any condition of working they want. Okay? All right. Now, our business model, like I was saying, is based on crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding is a globally accepted business model. It's as simple as you want to fund this prototype. Let's call this your project, okay? And then you have successfully created this prototype. Now, you're looking for money to go mainstream, large scale. So you put it on the market and you tell people, okay, this is going to sell for 100 cities. But for anyone that puts a 150 cities into supporting me go global, I'm going to actually customize your name on this for you. So to the core, that is what Project Drive is all about. We're not in business to own these cars. We're in business to provide a platform for car owners to finance cars for drivers. And drivers get a deal out of it, car owners get a deal out of it. Yeah. All right. So this is how we are financing the cars. We have a single ownership where you can own a car by paying for one car. We call them units. You see, traditionally, if you want to buy a car, it means when you go on the market, you realize that every car comes with its own price. You can get a car costing as much as 50,000 or a car costing as much as 30,000. And you as a car owner on your own, you have to deal with getting a good deal. What we're doing with Project Drive is, you as a car owner, don't worry about how much we're buying the cars. That is a conversation between us and the drivers, according to the work and pay weekly sales they want to do. So you want to own a car under the Project Drive fleet of cars we're buying. You can pay for one car, and then we've priced it. I'm gonna go to that soon. We have the single ownership, we have the joint ownership, and we have the asset management. So with a single ownership, you can pay to own one car. Okay. With a joint ownership, you can contribute to paying for a car, so to speak. And with the asset management, if you already have a car in a very good condition and you don't have the time to manage it on your own, you can also come to us. We'll value the car, put it under our scheme, get a driver to drive it for you, and then pay you on a monthly basis for the next 2.5 years. After the period, we're working with a work and pay scheme, so the ownership of the vehicle is transferred to the driver. And then you also make your money and your profits out of the scheme. All right, so that's a single ownership. You pay 30,000 Ghana cedis to own one Project Drive car. So I'm going to go into how the ownership deal works very soon. You're going to make 75% profits on your ownership within a space of 2.5 years. Yeah, basically, that's about it, single ownership. And then, yeah, so that is the package. You receive an asset co-ownership title, certificates, and you also receive a copy of the vehicle documents. The original vehicle documents are left in trust with our insurance company. Yeah, that is to protect both the driver, the car owner, and the company. So we do not tamper with car ownership. We don't keep the documents. No, our interest is not to own the vehicles or keep the documents. Our interest is to be a transit point for car owners and drivers. So you make 1,750 a month on a single ownership. And then we also have something we call the family and friends benefits. I'll go to that very soon, so you understand what that means. You can be a single owner or you can be a joint owner. And what as well as this is what we're doing in Project Drive that is amazing. Okay? We're taking the transportation ownership, the car ownership, to the average person who is not making so much. Because up until now, transportation ownership has been the privilege of only a select few, those who can afford to pay for these cars. And it means they call all the shots. But we're using our joint ownership program to change the game with Project Drive. So with as low as 1,005, you can technically be a car owner. I'm going to go into how that works soon. And you're also making 75%, both on the single ownership or on the joint ownership packages. Right? So we have 6 packages under the joint ownership. We have a 1,005 package. What this means is, let me imaginarily put 6 people up here. Okay? One person goes in for a 1,005 package. The second person goes in for a 3,000 package. 4,005. The fourth goes for a 5,000 package. 6,000, and then the 10,000 package. What this means is, these 6 people now are in a joint ownership for a car. You understand? Very simple. So if you don't have the means to buy one car under the scheme, you can join the joint ownership program, and then you are in a joint ownership with other people who own fleet of cars, working and then giving you back your monthly sales. And yeah, I'm going to go to the family and friends very soon. This is a breakdown of how much an ownership in Project Drive gives you. Okay, so we call the Project Drive car ownership units. If you own one car, you own one unit vehicle. If you own any of the joint ownership, it's also a unit, but I mean it's relative in the amount of money you put in a business. You can go for the single ownership, that's 30,000, plus the 75%, that is 22,500. And that gives you a total of 52,500 Ghana cedis paid back to you within a space of 2.5 years, that's 30 months. So on a monthly basis, you can opt for 2 payment options. On a monthly basis, you're receiving 1,750 every month for 2.5 years. And it means you've made your 30,000 back plus your profit of 22,500, that's 75%. Or you can also choose the quarterly payout. What we do is we actually are banking with EcoBank. EcoBank EDC is our funds manager. So what we do is, if you want to make more out of the Project Drive scheme, you can leave your funds and then it is saved at the EcoBank EDC, and that means you're going to be attracting extra 5% on a quarterly, on your quarterly payouts, and that's the breakdown there. So 3 months payment of 1,750 gives you 5,250 plus an extra 5%. And it means you're making profits, extra profits off your Project Drive investment. Now, if you're going for any of these lower packages, the joint ownership, you can choose 1,005, 75% is 1,125, a total of 2,625, and you're making 87 Ghana cedis a month of that package for 2.5 years. Or the quarterly, that's 361. You can also go in for the 3,000 package. We intentionally called these packages according to the vehicle part so that people can have a sense of ownership to the car, okay? So they don't literally mean you own the wheels or the transmission or the electronic. It just means that your contribution pays for a part of the car, okay? So the transmission ownership is a 3,000, and then you're making 5,250, that's 175 on a monthly, and 525 on a quarterly. The electronic part is 4,005. You're making 7,875 in total. That's 262 on a monthly, and then 788 on a quarterly. We also have the engine ownership, that's 5,000, and that is 8,715. That's plus your 75%, and you're making 291 Ghana cedis monthly, and then 875 Ghana cedis on a quarterly. We also have the chassis at 6,000. That gives you 350 on a monthly and 1,050 on a quarterly. And then we also have the body ownership that goes from 10,000. That gives you 7,500 profits, 70,500, and that is 583 on a monthly, 1,749 on a quarterly. Now you realize that we intentionally made the joint ownership start from a climax. It goes from 1,005 in the client all the way to 10,000. This is to give anyone the opportunity to join the ownership. Okay, that is why we have the packages all the way from 1,005 climbing to 10,000, and then ultimately to a single vehicle ownership. So that's how the ownership of the vehicles work. Currently, we have 2 cars working for us. Now, these are the old brands. We're changing them to the new vehicle brands soon, so you might not see this in town because we're doing the change of branding. Yes, but these are the 2 cars we currently have working for us. Now, the crowdfunding space of Project Drive, the joint ownership and the vehicle ownership we're sending to the general public, is our way of inviting the general public to join us in changing up the vehicles plying our roads. All right. This is a table of the weekly sales the drivers are doing in comparison to the vehicles they choose when they sign up for Project Drive. So we have the categories, that is, there are variation of the cost of the car. So the cost of the car affects the sales they do on a weekly. Drivers are doing weekly sales, and we're paying our car owners on a monthly. Yeah, so you can grab this. I should just quickly go through it. Okay, so we have the categories, that's from the lower categories to the high categories. And then, yeah, We also have a partnership with Solar Taxi coming up very soon. It means we're going to introduce electric vehicles into the Project Drive scheme. But we have Daewoo Motors, Hyundai Atos, Hyundai i10 going for a 450 weekly sales for 2.5 years. That's if the driver chooses to work within 2.5 years period. 3 years, you're going to pay 375 a week. For 3.5 years, you're going to pay 321. So, depending on the car you choose, there are certain cars, because of the cost, if we allow the drivers to pay shorter years, they're going to be doing higher sales. And we don't want to create any space where drivers are overworked to pay high sales. So we have a beautiful structure here. The drivers are allowed to choose a car they want according to how they feel they can work. Alright. After the term, the ownership of the vehicle is transferred to the driver, and all car owners get their money and their profits back. Project Drive is also doing well to set up its own mechanic outlets. Okay? So what we're doing is we're taking up the maintenance and management of the vehicle under the Project Drive workshop. And we're going to do this in partnership with the drivers. There is a way drivers are supposed to handle maintaining their cars. So Project Drive supports that through our workshop. Alright. People go like, how safe is this whole Project Drive? Let's call it investment, because yes, it's a form of investment. We're investing into vehicle acquisitions for drivers. And then we go like, it's low risk, it's starting from 1,005. And it's sustainable because the profits margin is 2.5% on a monthly basis. 75 broken down into 2.5 years, that's 30 months, gives you 2.5% a month. Now 2.5 times 12 gives you 30% per annum, which I believe is one of the best investments out there in a safe category, so to speak. Asset security. All investments go into purchasing vehicle assets for drivers. It's a transportation business, and the drivers are managed. Okay, so car owners don't have to worry about what if the car breaks down, what if the driver falls. And we have systems in place to make sure all of these are managed properly. All right. Now, a few securities we put in place to make sure that the vehicle assets is authentic. Now, the vehicle title co-ownership, yes. What we call the vehicle title co-ownership means when we buy any car for a driver, the car documentation is what shows the ownership of the vehicle. So that the car papers is registered in the name of Project Drive and co-owners. That is here, yeah. We do the car registration in the name of Project Drive and co-owners, where co-owners mean every car owner, whether you're a single owner or you're in a joint ownership program, you are called a co-owner under the Project Drive. So the vehicle document is registered in Project Drive and co-owners. You are given a copy of these documents, and the original documents are given to the insurance company. Currently, we're working with Saham Insurance. So, yeah, they keep the original vehicle documents, and a copy is given to every car owner. Yeah. We also do aptitude test programs for the drivers before we give them cars to begin working. Our aptitude test process is to determine whether we are dealing with honest drivers. We have a module we go through to make sure that we're dealing with honest drivers. All right. We do background checks on drivers. We do the vehicle branding. So when you see any branded car, Project Drive, you know that this car is under the Project Drive fleet of cars. We also do vehicle tracking, yeah. Fleet management software, yeah. We're developing the app to literally automate this whole process. So it takes all human error out of the equation. And then we're also working on custom number plates for all Project Drive cars, yes. And then managed vehicle maintenance. So all of these are put in place to make sure that the investment into the vehicle purchasing is safe and sound. And every car owner in Project Drive can go to sleep peacefully at night, knowing that their vehicles are working and they are making their sales. Right? This is the cog of Project Drive, the pivot of Project Drive. The vehicle documentation is what proves ownership of assets. Project Drive will register all vehicles under the ownership name Project Drive and co-owners, where co-owners represent investors. All vehicles will have full comprehensive insurance, cover to protect the assets, and vehicle documents will be held by our insurance handlers. Document copies will be made available to investors. To this effect, an asset co-ownership certificate will be issued to every investor for their investment security, which will be legally binding. Yes. So this is the security we have put up in place to make sure that everyone who trusts and believes in Project Drive, anyone who can see into what we're trying to achieve with Project Drive, is also secure. Right? Yeah. This is something we're also cooking up in the pipeline. In our pursuit to get drivers very good condition cars, brand new, better cars, we chanced on Solar Taxi, and Solar Taxi is working up a partnership with us where we're eventually going to be giving drivers brand new cars, electric vehicles. This model is not ready yet, so I'm just picking up on it. Yeah. We're also going to do what we call a Project Drive Select, where if you're not a commercial driver, you can apply to Project Drive and get a car, possibly an electric car, and you're going to have a 5-year payment plan flexibly. So we're working on all of these angles to make sure that we're having better cars on our roads. Yeah, the Project Drive Management app. This is not going to be your regular Uber or Bolt app. This is going to operate on a different level. All right. Let's say this is passengers. These are drivers. The drivers are using Uber and Bolt to connect to their passengers. Project Drive is here. So the Project Drive app is going to connect car owners and investors to drivers. We're filling in the gap here. Because let's face it, before you can drive on Uber or Bolt as a driver, you need a car. So that is where Project Drive comes in and says, hey, we can help. We are speaking to potential investors who are willing to finance these cars to be given to drivers to go on the Uber and Bolt. That's how the Project Drive app is going to operate like. Right. Thank you very much. If you have any questions to this effect, you can contact us. Our office lines are 0302 981809. You can also reach us on WhatsApp, or you can go to our website at projectdrivegh.com. And then if you have any questions, get in touch. Let's improve Ghana. Now, a little closing remark, and then we can call this an evening. Lately, we've been hearing a lot of fix the country, and the Ghanaians are tired, and yeah, we get it. The system is tight. I mean, our governments are not really pulling weight. I don't know, but for some reason, they're not really supporting people. I don't know, but that is that. That is for another topic. What we're doing in our own little space is, as Ghanaians, if we don't come up with smart ideas like these, and then we're also going to just be out there complaining and then fix the country, and then we're not doing anything about it, then we are also to blame. There are two types of people in this world: complainers and problem fixers. Where do you stand? Thank you very much.